So here's featurescape with an example. So the repository at GitHub, github.com, SBUBMI, Stony Brook University Biomedical Informatics Department, and the repository's name is featurescape. So there are a number of examples. We're going to pick one, this one here. We're going to navigate 1.3 billion measures across 48 dimensions. So let's start with the features themselves. I'm going to pick one of the images where the features were extracted. Let's now ask for the features themselves. There we are. So the polygon that outlines each of the features has a number of geometric parameters which will be extracted, which were extracted and stored in a NoSQL database that featurescape is going to traverse. So if you now go to featurescape, we have a random seed. So this is statistical zooming on a very large feature landscape. Let's say we pick 3000 features. Now we have featurescape. So see, the code is being served directly from the GH pages branch of the GitHub repository. And what we have next is a composition of the data source with the search, the pattern search in MongoDB. So now we have here the cross-tabulation of Pearson correlation coefficients after sorting by UPGMA and weighted pair group average, so an amalgamation scheme of cluster analysis, and we have the clusters recognized here. If you look down, you'll see also that the same correlation coefficients, the same similarity distances are also represented as a network. So we look here, equivalent, spherical perimeter, so we can say that these are parameters somehow related with the perimeter of the object, and indeed we find that to be the largest cluster here. We can play with this measure here to find what will be the further connected representation or the disconnected representation. So we are segmenting the connections at different values of the Pearson's correlation coefficient. Now just a little bit of a sanity test. By looking at values in the diagonal, we expect them to be straight line, yeah, and indeed they are. As we move away from the center of the cluster, we expect this to be less so. And now we are completely outside of any meaningful correlation. And now maybe the most important thing about featurescape, it's a REST API. So if you go to the URL, say, of this web app, you'll find out that it's composed with a number of parameters. The first one being the domain of the data hosting service, followed by a parameter that sets how many features are being extracted, and then the search pattern that is being submitted to the NoSQL backend, which includes the value randval, random value, in this case greater than 0.453. So this is the same value you see fluctuating here randomly. So we have 1.3 billion JSON objects, each of them with a randval that has been searched here. And then we have a pattern, a search pattern that is being applied in this case to MongoDB, which confines the subdomain of this very large multiparametric landscape that is being sampled when we click on the distance between two parameters, as in here. So let's dereference this API. So if you now open a new tab, and there we are, you see the long array of 3000 features in this case being extracted on the fly. So a statistical zooming procedure. Let's look for the random value, and there we are. For each of the 3000 features extracted, we have a number that is being sorted by proximity to these random seeds within the subdomain of the region being sampled.